never had French before. So we are going to look at the syllabus, and notice that it is the tentative spring syllabus, so things do change. Sometimes I tweak things throughout the semester. I always let you know. So this is the syllabus. This is who I am. I am Dr. Robin White. This is my office. If you're familiar with the Nicholls campus, which I know many of you are not, this is my email. These are my office hours. On Friday, I am available from 9 to 9:40 to answer questions. Hopefully the questions are pointed towards a point in the learning of French, that the questions are not like, how do I get in touch with the website that we use for this class, or how do I get on Moodle, because I'm not equipped to answer those so much. Okay, if those hours for you are not convenient, we can also meet on Zoom anytime you want. Make a request and I can meet outside of these hours. So let's look at the syllabus and what you need for this class. If you are planning on taking 101 and 102, or even going further, you might want to extend your access to a year. If you're just going to take 101 and 102 this spring in the 2 sessions, the 2 8-week sessions, then you only need the 5-week code. This is where you click to get onto the super site. So you just click here and it should pop right up. And here are your instructions to what my class is called. This is Nicholls Online. You will need to create an account. So here are the instructions to get onto what is called the super site, which is where most of the class takes place. Okay, so you go there. You are welcome to buy a hardcover if you want, but all you need is the code, the super site plus code with the v-text. Okay, so some people like to have a book. If you want the book, you can buy it in loose leaf. You can buy a hardback. This is an all online class. You are going to not necessarily need the material book. Remember that I really can't help you with tech questions. They can help you at the super site. Here's the tech numbers. Being late. Okay, obviously we have hurricanes in Louisiana, and obviously our electric grid isn't always perfect. You still need to have reliable internet and electric for this class. So if there's an emergency and you can document it that you really couldn't get online, you can let me know. Otherwise, I expect work to be on time. Work that is late will receive a 5% deduction for each day it is late. Okay, so you should expect throughout the whole semester, the whole 8 weeks, you should expect about 60 hours of work. So you should count on 6 hours of homework a week. In other words, you should be getting on the super site every day for about an hour. If you're not ready to do that, then this is probably not the ideal course for you. I also just want to emphasize that if you are a people person, a social person, and you like interaction with other French learners, this is not an ideal situation because it's interactive with the book, with some AI, some artificial intelligence, but there's not much peer-to-peer learning, which is the ideal learning environment for language learning. So lower your expectations. This is like sort of an exposure to French. It's hard to actually learn a language. It takes years. And the super site is as good as it gets in terms of a textbook, but it's not going to create any kind of fluency. So I can explain content. I can't work on technical things. You are always welcome to visit me in my office or to set up a time. In terms of what you learn in this class, you learn basic survival skills. The first chapter is called Salut, which is hello. you get a little bit beyond the fundamentals, learning how to say things about school and university life, describing your family. We are only working through trois unités, 3 units of this book. In French 102, you will do unité 4, 5, et 6. So we are just doing unité 1, salut, introducing yourself. Unité 2, les cours, which is about life at university in French and in English, or in your context. And unité 3, la famille. You will develop a flexible vocabulary. It is based on you looking and learning vocabulary and learning the different modalities that you need to speak French. For example, adjectives agree in French. So adjectival agreement. Adjectives do not agree in English. We do not say, for example, the brown dog and have to change it to agree whether the dog is feminine or masculine, but in French you do. So brown would change. Speaking of, here is one of my dogs. Elle n'est pas brune, en fait, elle est couleur café crème et elle est blanche. So she's café crème, kind of coffee color, café au lait, and she's white. So the word for white is blanc, but she's a female, so we say elle est blanche. Okay, you're going to learn verbs such as être, aller, and avoir. Now, here is something I'm just going to put out there. You have to learn the present tense, and as soon as I see you using things like the future tense, I know that you're not learning what's in the book, and you're just Google translating it, and that doesn't work. So I will contact you once about using 2 advanced terms, and then after that, it's considered academic dishonesty. So I'll explain that a little bit more. This is why I call this a tentative syllabus, because by the time it gets uploaded to Moodle, I will have that explicitly out there that you can't use advanced French tenses. You have to use what the book is using. Okay, so you will learn what it's like to live in France and other Francophone countries. You'll gain some concrete knowledge of French and Francophone customs and manners, some idiomatic expressions. As I said, this is only 8 weeks, so, doing your best. There's my little statement on academic honesty, where I'm going to put in that information about the future tenses and past tenses not being used. And again, I'm not able to help you with technical problems. So you either have to contact VHL or Nicholls Tech Support. There is the Nicholls Tech Support number. And while I'm here, I might as well just cut and paste the super site number right there too, although it is in there many times. Okay, so I'm just going to put that back up there so that there we go, so that you have it many, many times. Okay, all of this is just regular syllabus stuff. If you have a grievance, you should follow the instructions in the student code of student conduct. The library at Nicholls is there to help you. We have counseling. If you have a documented disability, you need to give me the paperwork. Of course, we accommodate. There's no extra credit in the class, and there is tutoring. Sometimes in French, there's tutoring available at the tutoring center. Sometimes they don't have a tutor. Here is what you'll be graded on. So you have homework, quizzes, essays, a midterm, presentations. The presentations consist of just speaking into a mic, and they're usually little idiomatic expressions and dicton expressions that have a little moral to them. And you have a final, and you have an exam. Why does it not say final in this? Again, this is why I call it oh, I know why. Because that needs to be like that. There you go. Okay, so that's the breakdown. When grades, when you turn work in, it is deducted 5% per day. You do need to take into account capitalization and punctuation. the super site, maybe I'll do another video to show you if you don't put in the exact right thing, the super site marks you as wrong. That's why on the first week you have a lot to do and then you get the hang of it. And usually you can do 2 different submissions for homework. You cannot do 2 submissions for quizzes, exams, midterm, and final. Okay, so the rest of it is just telling you how to set up the super site, but it's pretty intuitive. If you click that first button, set up your account, there you are. So I just like to remind students of the important dates in the Nicholls online calendar. You start on January 17th. Your last day to withdraw is the 16th, and the last day of classes before exams is March 3rd. Okay, one other little point about dates. You cannot talk to me about your grades if it is in the last 2 weeks of class, because I'm busy. So if you bring it up early in the semester or in the midterm or right after, I'm very willing to discuss things, but do not bring up your grades on the last day of class. It's too late. So that is a little quirk of mine, that I'm not going to talk to you about grades when the class is mostly over. Okay, so in your superset, you're going to see a calendar like this. Now I'm going to get out of the syllabus for a second. This is just to show you what is in the supersite, because your work is really on the supersite. So I'm going to go over here, boop, 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 get the calendar, and I'm going to show you that to you. And just give me 1 second. Boop. Probably gone on too long in this video. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to show you. You have a calendar. It shows you what's due. Homework's always due on Fridays. You can get started on your assessment, your tests on the 20th, but they are due on the 23rd. So your test will be available for you to look at, to prepare for over the weekend. It is due by 11:59 on Monday. That is consistent throughout the entire course. So homework due Friday, tests due on Monday. Unless we are in the last week of class during finals. So your last little bunch of homework is due Friday. You will have your multi-unit exam, also known as a final, on the 6th. You'll have an oral element component on the 7th. And then I have to get grades in by the 9th. Okay, so this has gone on far too long, and I will see your names populating in the super site shortly. Au revoir.